Okay, it starts out that in the back, they don't jump right into the ring. They go to the back with Renee Moxley Good, with Darby Allin and Keith Lee. And Darby recites his verbiage that he had to impart to Keith Lee like he was completely somaed off his ass, which was 180 degrees from what he did later on in the program. We'll talk about the segment. He's talking about something he wanted to talk about. But here he just gets the words out and bows up to Keith Lee, basically says, I know you don't want to team with Swerve, so pull your head out of your ass and either win this 2-on-1 without Swerve or just stand on the apron and cry about it. So this little pipsqueak tells off this giant and then walks off, and Keith Lee laughs about it. Well, he's ballsy but stupid. So, well, before I get to, let me tell you the rest of the match.
Well, can we talk about this promo for a second, though?
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
You know, the problem is, since the MJF feud, Darby's become like a guidance counselor in these promos.
Yes.
Everyone he addresses, he's like, here's how you could fix yourself. Here's what you should do. From him. And by the way, I'm going to go crash my car into my house.
You know, I'd really be impressed if he crashed his house into his car.
What do you think of Keith Lee dyeing his hair back and shaving and looking, I guess, similar to the way he looked facially a couple of years ago?
Well, I think somebody told him, what the fuck are you doing? You look like Father Time. And your work does not shine such a bright light that it would distract from the fact that you look like you were ready to be laid out and have words spoken over you. So he's tried to youthful himself up a little bit again, I guess. But again, it's the blind draw tag team tournament. And remind me if I'm tell me if I tell a lie, Brian. But Swerve and Keith Lee were partners for about 3 weeks, right? Maybe a month.
Well, no, it was a little bit longer than that because it was a few months because they had the tag team titles.
Okay, but it was very short. And then they did an angle where they broke up. And then they even showed some footage. Swerve did an angle where he hurt Keith Lee with a cinder block in December. And then I'm not aware that they ever had a match between each other. And now they're partners in the blind draw tag team tournament, but they don't want to be. And this angle, if you can call it that, is still going on between them. Have I summarized that appropriately?
Somewhat. I don't remember, like you, I don't remember if they ever had a singles match. They've had a couple interactions since. Rick Ross hasn't been seen since. That guy Trench, apparently that was his name, the guy with all the tattoos all over the place.
He got fired, didn't he?
They just let him go.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened there. His attorney must be happy about all that. And then Parker Boudreaux or Boudreaux, whatever his name is, he's still around, but he's not associated with any of this anymore. So they rushed the tag team breakup to do something that they weren't going to follow up on. It was a waste of the tag team run.
At least then they were consistent because they didn't follow up on it. So they did what they intended to do.
I guess.
But this match, as soon as you come out of the pre-tape, there comes Pockets. He's making his entrance. And I wrote, fucking hell, every week. No wonder they lose 25% of the audience from start to finish. And the tournament match is Darby and Pockets against Swerve and Keith Lee. And when Swerve comes out with the entire Prince Nana, Cage, Khan and Leone, and then Keith Lee comes out and just walks past with a smug smirk on his face, the guy who broke a cinder block over him 6 months ago. So, again, Pockets rule. Even if this was some kind of brilliant angle, you can't take it seriously. He's in it. And I'm sorry, but if anybody doesn't want to hear this, I apologize. But some of these guys in AEW are complete idiots and don't mind doing tricks with the trained chimp. But some of these guys, I'm sorry, it's factual, no, and they're embarrassed to go along with this or outright don't want to be involved in it. They just can't say it out loud in public because the owner of the company is mentally a maladjusted 14-year-old and he thinks he's found a friend.
You're speaking about Orange Cassidy as the trained monkey.
Correct. He's the Cheetah segment in the Tarzan movie. Comedy relief.
Part of the problem, I mean, what you just said is right, but it's beyond that. The attempt to convince everyone that this is right has started to work. You're starting to hear, he really is, good in the ring. He's wrestling the same way he did from the beginning. Same stupid stuff from the beginning. But Tony is on a mission to convert people into believing in this guy right before he gives him the title.
20 minutes before that was over with. 20 minutes of this television program for this nonsense. And then they moved on.
What are your thoughts on the Battle Bowl concept in general?
It's not a bad concept in general. But again, when they have nothing but tournaments, when their tag teams have all been disrupted just to make 6-man teams so that the elite could play, and then that's kind of, I don't know where the fuck they're even at with that. And you've got no strong tag teams except for you've got the best tag team in the business and others. And everybody's got a fucking title of some description. They're holding a belt. So then you have another tournament to put makeshift teams together to confuse the issue and give some makeshift team a tag team title shot to do an angle when your tag team division is not over in the least at this point. What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, how about instead of a blind tag team eliminator tournament, tag team title matches? When was the last time FTR had a tag team title defense?
I don't know.
We've seen him in a couple 6-man or 8-man matches with CM Punk and Starks.
And we're happy to see those because at least they were good.
But they're the tag champions.
Do anything for the tag team title.
Yeah. Instead of a tournament with makeshift teams, let's get title defenses.
Anyway,